All right, time for our fun fold. This is our third class of the day for the October card class. And the other two cards I used the Christmas Scotty bundle, but this time I'm going to be using the Very Best Occasions bundle, which you might not notice in the catalog because it's just sentiments, but it's got some nice sentiments for both outside and inside of cards. So there's birthday, thinking of you, and then there's some Christmas sentiments as well, which we're going to be using today, and a fun punch which punches corners. So let's get started here. This is called a quarter fun fold, and I do have the PDFs posted in our group for all three cards. This is called a quarter fun fold because it's 4 separate quarters, but I almost would call it a box fold card because you fold it up exactly like you would fold up a cardboard box. And let me show you how that works first before we start making our sample. So you can see all 4 quarters are decorated here, and then you open it up just like this. And then we've got an inside, and the inside is, I used that punch I just showed you to do the corners. So it's basically a gatefold card, but with 2 gates. So you've got a panel going that's cut. Well, let me show you here. We've got one that's cut the hamburger way and one that's cut the hot dog way. So it's just both, basically those two put together. And then to fold it up, we're going to fold one piece and then just go clockwise, just like you would do a box, and tuck the last one under like that. So this fold is perfect for not just a sentiment or a greeting, but also if you wanted to put in a gift card or some sort of little gift, that card would hold it nice and tight in there, and it will go through the mail as well in a standard envelope. So let's get started. I definitely will need my bone folder on this one. The measurements are all in the handout, but it is a standard gatefold card, so pretty easy to figure out. So if you want the dimensions, let's see, it's 2 1/8 from each side for this one, and then 2 3/4 from each side for this one. And it basically is giving you a 5 1/2 across the middle that will fit in your envelope. So let's see, grab my sample here so I make sure I do everything right. Okay, and I don't think it really matters that much which goes where, but I think what I did was have this one just spread out and then glued this one on in the center. So again, we'll just put a little bit of liquid glue in the corners, and maybe we can put some along the edges here too. And again, we do have a little wiggle room with this card, so that if it's not quite right, we can scoot it around a little bit until it hardens up. Looks like we got that centered, and you can even kind of push down on it on the front or the top or the bottom to get that nice and straight. So I'm just going to take a second here to make sure that's glued down well so it's not going to shift on me. Now we are going to have a little bit of trouble probably folding this other one in. So we're going to put our bone folder to work there so that every time we fold it, it will fold nicely. And oh, that one went a lot nicer than my sample. I had a little trouble and I had to do an extra little fold. Now there will be a little gap there because of the width of the double cardstock there, but that's all right. All right, so I guess this card I'm doing this direction, so we'll do our stamping first. I'm using vanilla cardstock because that's what this designer paper goes with. Had some scraps left over from the Lights Aglow designer series paper that we used recently, so I had 2-inch strips, so it was perfect for this card. So first, might as well do our corners first. So when you're using a trio punch like this, you don't want to punch in the corner. You want to actually use the palm of your hand and work that into the corner, punch down straight, and then I'm going to flip the cardstock because it's not a symmetrical design, so that way I get it a little more symmetrical. And I'm do the same on the bottom, flip it over, and then we'll stick it in again, make sure it's in cornered well, and then we've got our little corner design. And so that's really nice for tags too, if you're making tags. And in this punch especially, that little slot is great for tags. And then there's a little corner there too, which is quite handy. So I'm going to be using the Very Best Occasion stamp set again. So we'll ink up some Evening Evergreen because that's the color of the cardstock I'm using. And grab this little sparkle Christmas sentiment, which is perfect for the inside of the card. I'm going to tap this a few times because my ink pad's getting a little dry here. Okay, and there's the inside. And then in the center, what I did is put a few of these pearls, which are really very pretty and shiny. There's 4 different colors. They are called the Festive Pearls. So there's gold, silver, kind of a bluish green, and a bright red. So I just put a few of those on the inside. And if you get the kit in the mail, you will have some of those jewels in your kit. All right, I might as well just go ahead and glue that in the center of my card since it is ready to go. And I'll put the jewels on later. I'm using my pick tool, which you saw me do. Oh, I guess I didn't do it on the last card. Well, then maybe I should do it on this card because I didn't do it on the last card. I chickened out and used the glimmer paper for my little decoration on the Scotty dog on his collar, and I just picked 3 places to put the jewels, so things look good in odd numbers, and 3 is really a good number for that. Alright, so I am going to actually put my card together the way I want it, so that's going to go up, that over, and that over, and tucked in. Because now it's time to add my designer paper to the corners, because it's the 4/4 card. We'll do a little more bone folding there to get that in. You can see there is a slight gap in the center, but that's pretty good. All right, so everybody has in their kit 4 pieces for the corners. Now these are not all the same size. You would think that they would be the same size, but they are not. So make sure you get them sorted out so you have the right size. The ones on the top and the diagonal corners are a little bit shorter from each other. So make sure I get the right ones there so they all fit nicely. Okay, that looks good. You can see if I had swapped this and this, they wouldn't quite fit the same. So make sure you get the right ones on there. I think the taller ones are 2 inches and the shorter ones have 1/8 of an inch off of them. But it is a great way to use up your 2-inch strips, and then you just cut down the other one. Again, all the measurements are on the handout in our group in the PDF flyer. Okay. Oh, and I also used one little piece of the, let's see, it's called the Festive Foil Specialty Paper, which goes along with the Lights Aglow. I guess this one is green, but it also has some gold and red, I think. So all of them have a little bit of that sparkle to them, which is really fun. Okay, this one's almost done now. All we need to do is decorate a little bit. You can add bling, add more stamping, add some dry embossing, whatever you need to feel like adding to the 4/4. I'm going to add a circle and some stamping. Now the one thing about this Best Occasion stamp set is it did not have a stamp that said Merry Christmas. It has Happy Birthday, has Thinking of You, but it did not have just a small Merry Christmas stamp set because I don't want to cover up any of my panels completely. I just want a small stamp. So I could grab one from another stamp set, but I thought I would show you another little technique, and that is called omitting, where you just take part of a stamp. So this particular stamp has a Merry in it, and it has a Christmas in it. So what I'm going to do is grab that one. I've got a little scrap of vanilla here. I had a bigger scrap before where I just stamped the whole thing and then cut out the parts I want. But let's see if I can do it on this little piece here. I might have to do stamp it twice, but okay, let's try to get, oh, actually the Christmas and the Merry are right next to each other, aren't they? So this might work. Okay. Yep, there I've got the Christmas and the Merry. So I'm just going to grab my paper snips and do a little fussy cutting. And if you don't want to do this, that's fine. You can just grab a small stamp of your choice from your stash and find a little sentiment that will go on this little strip. These strips, I have tons of these little strips because they're, when you're doing the card inserts or layers, that's the right, the piece that's left over when you cut that off. So save those little strips there, handy for sentiments. Okay, so there's my Christmas, and then here's my Merry. So I might trim a little bit more off of that. All right, and then I gave everybody just a little circle, soft succulent circle, and just so you had something to put that on. I mean, you can put it right on one of the quarters or put it on the circle, however you want to do that. And I did also want to show you a way to so that your sentiment could end up in the actual center of the card. On my sample, I just put it on one of the quarters, but let's see, where did the sample go again? Here it is. I just put it on the bottom right corner like that. But for this one, I want to show you how to have it end up in the center, but still be able to open the card, which is always a good thing. You do want to be able to open your card. So I am actually going to put my dimensional right in the very corner there. Hopefully the big one will work. If not, try using a small Stampin' Dimensional. Oh, I think it's going to work. And then I'm going to put my sentiment circle right there on that dimensional. And then it's only attached to the 1/4 corner there, so that when I open my card, it will still open. And then fold it up one more time for you. Bottom, then we're going clockwise around, and then just tuck that last one in, and have to be extra careful of that circle now so that we can tuck it under the circle as well. And there we go, the quarter fold card. So isn't that fun? So a lot of things you can do with that. Hope everybody enjoys that new fold, and all the videos will be posted in our private group along with the PDFs, and the videos will also go up on YouTube as well. So here's my website if you're interested in purchasing any of the products. I appreciate your business. Happy crafting, everyone.